the first speaker of the day. This is his first speech in his Competent Communicator manual. He's been with us for about a month, right? Please help me welcome Paul Hodge with his Icebreaker speech.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters are honored guests. I'm very excited to finally be doing my Icebreaker after 1 week delays, even though I kind of wish I had presence of mind to go to the bathroom before the meeting started. That's okay, we'll get through it. I'd like to start with a few random facts about me, starting with, when I was 10 years old, my tonsils were removed and they grew back. I graduated Camden Fairview High School in Camden, Arkansas in the year 2000. And I have a degree in political science with a minor in mass communication from the University of Central Arkansas. While I was in college, I did a radio show with my friend Marshall called The Paul and Marshall Show, or PMS for short. Thanks to NKUCA, you're on the air, you've got PMS. Thank you for laughing at that, because not everyone understood why that was supposed to be funny. It's kind of sad. I also copy edited for several semesters in Europe. It was something I enjoyed, but now I can't turn it off, and I tend to copy edit everything I see unless it's something I've written. I can't whistle. I was once mistaken for a rapper for some very unapparent reason. I collect 90s alternative CDs. I have almost 200. I have a pet rabbit, and I'm currently working on the design for what will be my 8th tattoo. A major part of the reason I'm here is I haven't always been the most positive person, and I'm trying to change that through making several personal improvements. It took me longer than the standard 4 years to get my degree, and a lot of that has to do with the negativity I allowed into my life. In 2005, a lot of my friends had already graduated and gone on to exciting careers, disposable income, and stable relationships, while I was still searching for direction in my life. I had changed my major and had a long ways to go to get out of school. I had money problems, a job I hated, a lackluster performance in school, and some bad roommates and associations, and I was undergoing a lot of stress. On top of that, I had insomnia that had me sleeping about 4 to 5 hours in the absolute best of nights, and some issues with anxiety. At first, I tried to take a positive approach in dealing with my problems, and I sought counseling. My counselor recommended I try medication for depression and anxiety. It worked a little too well on the anxiety, as it made me care about absolutely nothing, and I began falling behind in school and in everything else. So after that, I started searching for not so healthy distraction, or ways of dealing, and I just wanted something to distract me. Something I found to distract me was poking myself in the wrist with paper clips. But that didn't offer any resolution. The problems were still there. And I wound up taking a break from school. While I really needed the break, I had moved home with my family, so now as a 24-year-old college washout living office man. Pretty soon the paper clips weren't good enough. And I turned to a box knife. And I still have some scars on my forearm from it. It wasn't a suicidal urge, it was just a natural escalation in my search for distraction. I had started seeing a new counselor in January of 2006. And I told him that I wasn't sure I wouldn't do that again. My hope was that he would teach me some breathing exercises, some relaxation techniques. But apparently when you tell a mental health professional that you are thinking about hurting yourself, they gravitate more toward the idea of residential counseling, the psych ward if we want to get away from euphemisms. The first night, everyone else was apparently on some really good medication because they went to bed an hour before lights out. That left me sitting alone in the game room playing Solitaire. And I was cheating at it. Not my most effulgent moment. But then I had this moment of clarity that bordered on the comical. I'm locked away to supposedly protect from myself. I have a curfew. I can't have shoelaces. And now I'm cheating at Solitaire. This has to be rock bottom, and there is nowhere to go but up. Since then, I've gone to great lengths not to get back to that point. I went back to school, and I finished my degree. I cut some toxic people out of my life, and now I look for positive ways to deal with stress. No more paper clips, no more box knives, no more holding things in and letting them build up. I've been trying to become a more positive person. And I feel the most positive when I accomplish something, when I learn something new, or when I develop a new skill. And that's what brought me to Toastmasters. I've always wanted to develop my public speaking skills. And through my visits here, it became clear that this was a positive group trying to make some personal improvements. And I think that when you're trying to make personal improvements, you have to surround yourself with other people who are trying to do the same thing. I saw that in this group, and that's why I wanted to be a part of it. Thank you for having me, and thank you for listening.